Hi, everyone, and welcome to Search Sessions. We're so excited to have you join us. I'm Christine Pratt, the Director of Content here at Boostability, and I'll be hosting our show today. Search Sessions is a thought leadership series dedicated to helping businesses position themselves for success now and in the future, no matter their industry or their location. Every show has expert guests, business strategists, industry leaders to provide key advice and insights that you can apply to elevate your business to the next level. And today's Search Sessions, we've had a lot of requests for this topic, so we're so excited to talk about it. We're hitting up video marketing today. This is a huge part of digital marketing, a great way to reach new audiences, reconnect with the ones you already have. It's the language of today. We'll be talking about that a lot. So, and it's actually easier to do video marketing than you probably would think. So we're going to debunk some of those myths as well. And to talk about it, I'm thrilled to have Nick Liebman with us. He's the head of content at Powtoon, an all-in-one communications platform. So thanks for being here, Nick.
It's a pleasure. Thank you so much for having me. And hi, everybody joining us.
Awesome. And then we'll also hear from our SEO expert, Maya Tickle, about how to get your video ranking and make sure people actually see what you create. So thanks for being here, Maya.
Yeah, thank you so much.
And we've got a ton to cover. This is a huge topic, so we're just going to get right into today's agenda. First, we'll just get into some introductions so you get to know Nick and Powtoon and Boostability, and then we'll hand it over to Nick to really talk about kind of how we're in this age of video and how successful marketers use video to their advantage. Then he'll get into video marketing crash course and effectively how to use video. It's really cool to kind of see how their platform works and how you can apply that. And then we'll also talk about 21st century workflow. And guess what? That also can involve video. And we'll also, like I mentioned, talk about how to get your videos ranking with Maya. And then lastly, at the end, we'll get into Q&A and answer any of your questions. You can submit them here on the Zoom platform through the Q&A feature or in the chat. I'll be watching both of those throughout our conversation. And then you can also follow along on Twitter. We're at Boostability, and you can share your thoughts with the hashtag search sessions. We'll be tweeting along. So with that, about Powtoon. Used by about 30 million people worldwide, Powtoon is an all-in-one visual communications platform. It empowers individuals, teams, and enterprises to transform complex and scattered information into powerful videos and visual content with a professional look and feel. Powtoon's collaborative platform makes a visual communication easy to create, simple to manage, and quick to distribute. And with hundreds of inspirational templates, branded characters, and millions of royalty-free footage and images, you can easily create videos in every style and format: animated explainers, whiteboard tutorials, promotional videos, screen recordings, video infographics, face-to-face, and so much more. I've used Powtoon before, and it's a great platform. So we're so excited to have them. They're an industry leader here. And about Nick, we're so excited to have him here today. He's Powtoon's head of content. As I mentioned, he's originally from Chicago, Illinois. He produces classes, workshops, written content, and videos that help solve communications problems. And before joining Powtoon in 2016, he ran Clever Bridge's e-commerce blog, one of the top 8 CRO blogs on the internet by digital marketer. He honed his eclectic set of skills in the unlikely world of music, higher ed, and nonprofit community organizing. He has a BA in music from Grinnell College and a master's in music music composition from Butler University. And he's performed his and others' music all over the world. He currently lives and creates with his husband in Tel Aviv. So we're so excited to have him. And about Boostability, here we're the global leader in small business and partner-focused white label SEO. We offer affordable SEO specifically designed to meet the needs of small to medium-sized businesses. And our proprietary technology Launchpad tracks over 2.3 million keywords every month, which enables us to make strategic SEO decisions based on millions of bits of information. And not only that, but we serve customers and partners around the world, 15 countries, 9 languages, and we're expanding every year. And we get 86% of our customers on the first page of Google within 6 months, and 78,000 keywords for our customers on page 1 in 2020. So we're dedicated to helping every small business succeed online. And we've already got a couple of questions. We will be posting this on our YouTube channel and on our Boostability website. I'll mention that a couple of times, and we'll send it out to everyone who has registered for this later this week. So if you miss any part or you want to watch it again, it will be available to you. And with that, let's send it over to Nick. So we've kind of been prepping about this for a while, and you've told me that really video is a language in today's world. And you're going to teach us how to speak that. So I'm going to send it over to you.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And again, thanks everybody for joining. This is one of my very favorite topics to discuss: video, a better way to market and a better way to work. So let's dive right in. You can see the next slide here. We're in an age of video. I probably don't need to tell you all that, but just to drive it home, the reason why is because video is more effective at capturing attention and getting your message across than just about any other medium. Written content, people skim the headlines at best. Podcasts, we've all experienced this, right? We turn on a podcast and then we're doing something else. We're doing some data entry, or we're writing something, or whatever we need to work on. Podcasts are there to live in the background, to keep us keep our minds engaged. But video, people will actually watch a video, and visitors spend 2.6 times more time on a web page that has video on it, right? So we can see already there's something here. Captures attention, keeps people engaged. Let's take a look at the next slide. What does this mean in terms of marketing, though? That's sort of the reality of how people interact with video. What does it mean for marketers? What are they saying? 86% of businesses are using video marketing. Okay, so that may just be one video, and that's what they've done. Or perhaps they're using video in all aspects of their marketing, like we're going to speak about in just a moment. But 86% of businesses are using video in some capacity or another. 93% of marketers say video is a key part of their strategy. And 86% of marketers claim that video has increased traffic to their website. So a video can increase the number of people coming to your website. It can increase the time that they're on your website. But this stat is, I really think, the most key, and the reason why video makes a difference for marketers. 94% of marketers say that video has helped them increase user understanding of their product or service. That's the game in marketing, right? Educating a market, helping them truly understand what are the problems they're encountering, how can they overcome them, and how is your product or service the right solution for them. So video does that better than almost anything else. So there's one other really key important thing to realize, is that video is now a key part, an essential part of the shopping experience. And these stats come from Google. If you go to thinkwithgoogle.com, they've got a huge data set you can pour through and find all sorts of cool information that they make available. Over half, 55% of people search for products first and then seek out videos for more information. And we know that the search term, which product should I buy, that formulation of a search, that's grown more than 200% in recent years. And 85, this is from Wise Owl, 85% of people would like to see brands produce more video in 2021. So it's clear. It is effective as a medium. Marketers know how to leverage it and want to leverage it, and massively are leveraging it for their work. And not only that, but it's become part and parcel to how customers research products and make buying decisions. So there's no denying that video is important, but there are some obstacles, right?
Yeah, those numbers are
Christine,
huge.
go ahead.
No, I just didn't want to, like, that is a huge number. 85%, like, they want it, or, they go and they immediately research, they see something they like and they want to see if other people like it or whatever. That is a massive number.
Yeah. And people would rather find a video about it than pour through another PDF or look at another web page. A video will make it come alive for people. But what keeps businesses, if we see 85% are doing it in some capacity or another, it's key to people's strategy. But what keeps businesses, what's keeping you from doing more video, from implementing strategy? And it's three little things. One, quality, right? We want to have video that reflects the quality of your brand, of your product or your service. You want it to make sense to your audience. You need the quality to match what they're expecting to see on the given channel that they're watching on or platform. You need to worry about turnaround time, right? If you're working with an outside agency, then you may be at the mercy of their schedule when it comes to getting things done, or the process of communicating back and forth that can be very slow. And finally, cost, right? Not only the cost in time that we just mentioned, but cash money. You know, budgets are finite things and they can only be spent once, right? So the cost of your videos, it has a real impact on how much video marketing you can do. Luckily, technology, even the culture around video is changing to make these obstacles less and less relevant. I want to show you guys what Panasonic had to say about this. And obviously, Panasonic is an electronics company, and their UK marketing division uses Powtoon. This is what they had to say. First of all, the challenge, right? And it's the same challenge that everybody is facing, with every marketer faces with video. Panasonic's UK marketing division was seeking a solution that would allow them to produce high quality video content without the costly rates and prolonged project turnaround that are often associated with outsourcing to an agency. Quote, "I wanted to be able to create videos quicker and cheaper than using an agency. We went from creating 5 videos a year with an agency to about 5 videos a month, if not more," said Daniel Creasy, who's the UK marketing manager at Panasonic. So they're using Powtoon's platform to create not, a video a quarter, but a video a week or more that they can get out there on different channels and start engaging the market, being a part of the conversation, and to do it visually. From promoting white papers to creating product teasers and virtual event content, and we'll talk about some other ways you can use video in your marketing as well. Panasonic leverages its social media and sets a new standard for their industry. So this is really effective, and I know what you're all saying. If we could see the next slide, please. Oh, yes, the video marketing crash course. Before I get into that, let's talk about all the different ways that you can use video in your marketing, okay? If we could see the next slide, please. So, number one, product video. If you don't have a video that explains what your product or service is, who it's for, why they should care, and what they should do next to get access to it, then you are really missing the boat. Not only will that help, like that stat we saw earlier, 94% of marketers saying that video is helping their users understand what their product is all about. Your product video can do that, and it will help people stay on your site longer, 2.6 times longer if that video is there. It'll also help more people find your website, right? So super, super, super important to have that product video. And there's all sorts of different formats you could go through. Talk about that maybe in the Q&A if people have any more questions. Also, Powtoon has a ton of video templates available if you are just starting out. So I can get into more of that in a moment. Promotional videos or ads, right? Now, especially ads that run on social media platforms and things like that. This is such a huge opportunity. There are so many eyeballs on social media feeds every day. And you have the ability as a company or as an individual to pay these social platforms to put your ad in front of people. So it's really, really powerful. Now, you may want something that really matches the feel of that social feed, or you may want something that is dramatic visually. Remember, most people are looking at a social feed with the sound off. So you're really going to need to grab them with the visuals, or if the text is important, you're going to want to be sure that that's really visible. Or you may in fact want to, because you're spending money to put this video in front of people, it may be this is the video that you do work with an agency for to have that highest caliber of production. Social media. Now, this was Panasonic leverages social media. A lot of our clients leverage social media. Social media is ephemeral. It comes and it goes, right? And good luck finding something you saw a week ago on social media. That means you need to be able to create content very quickly without a lot of overhead. You got to create a lot of content. You want to put it up there. You want to have people engage with it, and you want to be able to move on to the next piece of content, to that next post, right? So you're going to need some kind of tool that allows you to create that video content really quickly, really easily, without a whole lot of people involved, so that you can just turn it around quickly. Now, I also want to mention YouTube separate from the social platforms, because it does behave really differently, even though they're kind of a social component to YouTube with the user accounts and with comments. What you see on YouTube is a completely different kind of posture of the users of YouTube, right? As opposed to it being on a phone and someone looking at a social feed and square or vertical videos, they're oftentimes watching it perhaps on a phone or maybe on a tablet or even on a smart TV in a more kind of traditional screen experience, right? It's widescreen. They're watching it primarily with the sound on. And if you're running ads on that platform, of course, you'll need to take that into account. Also, that first 5 seconds, right, where you've got a captive audience before they can skip. That's another opportunity there in your video. But I want to also mention the organic side of YouTube. The videos you post on YouTube, unlike social media, are highly discoverable. The day you post it, and also a week and a month and a year and 2 years and 3 years. Powtoon has videos on our YouTube channel that we published in 2014 and 2015 that continue to get organic views. The reason for that, among other things, you may know this, you may not know this, even though YouTube is not a search engine, it is the second most used search engine on the internet, because users are going to YouTube and searching for videos that help meet a need, help entertain them, or inspire them, right? So if you can create videos that are couched around the search terms that your audience or your desired audience are searching for, your content can show up and meet their intent, meet their need, help build your reputation as someone, as a company, as a brand that has the information and the value your audience is looking for. And those videos have a life beyond that day that you publish it. So it's really like almost like a virtual real estate investment, being able to get good, valuable content on YouTube.
Isn't that
Webinars.
interesting? Yeah. Oh, sorry. One
No,
little
go
thing
ahead.
about YouTube.
I'm rambling. If you have questions, please dive in.
No, just a quick comment. You wouldn't really think about YouTube as a search engine. I mean, obviously, when you go on it and you want to find something, like you immediately go up to the little search icon. So, I mean, it makes sense. That's just not something you would intuitively think about.
Right. And I think Maya's going to have a little more detail for us on exactly how you leverage that ability, that sort of hidden search engine reality that is, in the back end of YouTube. So it's really, apologize, but don't worry, folks. More stuff is coming. It's going to be great. I want to just quickly mention webinars. Webinars are really key for us here at Powtoon, also a number of our clients, and the webinar itself is a video. You can create teasers for that webinar. You can create teasers for your replay. We'll talk also a little bit more about that in a moment. But webinars are very, very powerful. It's also really a great way to connect with your customers or potential customers, because we're here together. You guys can type into the chat, you can see us, and we can make a connection. And not only that, but it's a way to get to know what are those challenges that your customers are having. What's the words, what's the language that they're using to talk about it? And how can you use those words to really help them understand why your solution is valuable to them? One last thing, screen recording and video messaging. Now, you wouldn't necessarily think of this as a way to create content, but it is a very powerful way to create content, especially for those social media channels where it doesn't need to be the highest level of production. It needs to be immediate. It needs to be authentic, right? Those are the things that matter the most in those sorts of settings. So let's see the next slide. Okay, Nick. What are you talking about? Give me something concrete. Don't worry. If you're like these two characters and you're confused, don't worry. Let's dive into the Powtoon Studio. I'm going to show you guys first. I prepared a short video message that I'm intending to use to promote the very replay of this webinar that we're on right now. So just one moment while I share my screen. Desktop. Yes. Can everybody see my screen? Good. Wonderful.
Yes,
So I'm excellent. So I'm just going to play this short message. Before I do, I'll just mention I created this using Powtoon Capture. It's a Chrome extension we released this year that allows you to record your webcam or your screen or both. Looks like this when it's installed, and as you can see, it gives you a camera window here. You can record the screen. You can only, just record the screen, or you can just record your camera like this, or you can use it in present mode. This won't record, but we'll leave your camera window on your screen so that you can be right there with your audience when you're presenting. But I used it to record a short promo for the replay of this webinar. Hey everybody, Nick from Powtoon, and I'm so excited to share the replay to our recent webinar we held with Boostability. Video, a better way to market, a better way to work. If you have questions about how to implement video marketing at your organization, or if you want to work better as a team using video, this is the training for you. So please check it out, and I can't wait to see what you create next. Have a great day. Now, you could use that video as is. It took me 26 seconds to make. As long as it plays, that's how long it took me to make. So it's an incredibly quick way to create content, but you can take it a step further. In fact, if you make it, we have, I'm not sure exactly what the limit is. I think it's 70 minutes for a capture. But if you make it in under 3 minutes, you have the option to edit it in the Powtoon Studio. And this is really an amazing way to add value to what you're doing with these video messages and sort of graduate it from sort of just a video memo to a proper video that you might share. So as you can see, this loads up the video that I created right in the Powtoon Studio. Down here is my timeline. So I've got all 26 seconds of my video. I can drag the playhead here and kind of get a sense of where things are. I can press play. Hey everybody, Nick from Powtoon, and I'm so excited. And the other thing I can do, of course, I have the entire Powtoon Studio available to me here. So text. In fact, if I wanted to put in my title, I can just click this, and I'm just going to move this to the right a little bit, or I can drag it if I like. And if you're familiar with a slide deck software, then you know exactly how to do this. There are text boxes. You double click there. I'm going to edit the text. Nick Liebman, that's me. Whoops. Just make this a little smaller. There we go. Head of content, Powtoon, and I actually think I can get this to fit like that. So we can see now as we play the video. Hey everybody, Nick from Powtoon, and I'm so excited to share the replay to our recent. My timing is a little bit off, right? So I just want to move this up to, let's say, 1.5 seconds. Yeah, and then this right at 2. Let's try that one more time. Hey everybody, Nick from Powtoon, and I'm so excited to share the replay to our recent webinar we held with Boostability. Video, a better way to market. You get the idea. The other thing, really, really powerful is we have all of these royalty-free soundtracks that you can add. And this really does make a video come alive. And you can search through, you can filter it by the kind of mood you want. How about something chill? You can preview them. Like this. I like that one. I'm going to click use, and then I'm just going to bring the audio down because the sound from my video might be a little bit lower, and I just want to check how this sounds together with the soundtrack. Oops, sorry, one moment. Hey everybody, Nick from Powtoon, and I'm so excited to share the replay to our recent webinar we held with Boostability. Video, a better way to market, a better way to work. If you have questions about how, and of course you can add more, you could add a character, you could, you could even create your own character if you wanted, all sorts of options there. We have things on our website that go through more about what's available in the Powtoon Studio. But this is just one way to, if you can say it and you can create a slide deck, then you can also have a video that rises to that caliber. I do just want to jump back in to the presentation, and I'll stop sharing my screen for a moment.
And I will pick it up. 1 second.
Excellent.
Let's see. Share screen. Okay. Everyone
Excellent.
good? Great.
Very good. Next slide, please.
Okay.
So a 21st century workflow. Ladies and gentlemen, if we could see the next slide. It's all about video. Instead of your next long email or a stupefying spreadsheet, or a marathon meeting. Think about using video and visual communication for all of these things. Content creation, we just saw actually how quick and easy you can create original content for your social channels, etc., with screen recording, edits and feedback. This has been huge on our team because even if you're not working with an outside organization, you may have a designer and a content writer and a bunch of other people that you'll need to kind of get on the same page, right? Whether, and if anybody's ever given edit feedback to a piece of content in an email, it is a very long process. You have to go, okay, I want to say this, you have to describe what you're talking about in text. Much easier to record your screen, say, hey, love the design. I noticed that this isn't quite right here. Please be sure that we're proofreading that. And I believe the color palette we're supposed to be using is this one and not that one, etc. And you can simply make your comments, share that video. The marketing to sales handoff, especially in the B2B context, right? Being able to hand that relationship off from the marketing content that's happening to your sales team is super important. And being able to communicate that quickly via video is super important. To have your sales reps be able to create their own videos, to communicate face-to-face with your leads, potential customers. You can even do that handoff again from sales to your customer success team. And the whole time that's being supported with video. What about reporting the success of your marketing team? This is something we were talking about in the lead up to this. But if you work in marketing, you know, the best marketing does not leave a footprint. If marketing is really good, you don't notice it. The audience doesn't notice it. They're simply finding answers to questions that they're asking, learning about solutions to problems that they're having. They don't even notice the marketing if it's very good. But that's not so good for a marketing team, right? Because it can seem like, yeah, okay, everything's working. Of course it's working. And sometimes the leadership doesn't quite see all of the work that goes into it. But if the marketing team, instead of sending a spreadsheet or having a dashboard that maybe makes sense, maybe doesn't, imagine creating an infographic video to share that success with others in the company, with your executive team, working with an executive, say your CMO, to create a video that then they share on behalf of the team, right? Depending on the culture in your organization or the ways in which people acknowledge and give shout outs to successes in the company, this can be an incredibly powerful tool. And just like it's true for your customers that they will, instead of multitasking or skimming, they're going to watch the whole thing. Guess what? So will your executives and the rest of your colleagues. Onboarding and training, right? And I'm also going to add to that offboarding or knowledge capture. When someone is new and coming on your team, you want to be able to get them up to speed immediately. You want them to feel a part of your team culture. You know, you want them to know, how do we get stuff done here? Who is the gatekeeper for this thing or that thing? What should I not waste my time with? Because that's not how things are done here. Communicating that via video instead of a boring slide deck or a long PDF or a series of emails somebody has to sit through, that is going to make the difference. They're really going to watch it. They're really going to know what they're doing. It's going to save you all time and money when it comes to mistakes and productivity. And it really helps a team build on the momentum of success. And also offboarding, right? We hope that, of course, every member of our team is challenged and satisfied and working and engaged and is never going to leave the company. But of course, that's not a reality. People move on, people have other opportunities. And in fact, that's a good thing, as long as they don't take their knowledge with them. And I've been through this personally, right? When you have turnover and wait a minute, wasn't that so-and-so who always handled these email sends? Oh man, where's that document? What's going on? Being able to create video messages that summarize what people do, how they do it, and the little optimizations they found along the way, that institutional knowledge that people build up as they work on a team. You don't need to lose that if that person moves on to different opportunities. You can capture it with video. Last point about the 21st century workflow. It's not just on your team. It's also about communicating with your vendors and your contractors, right? This can speed up, let's say, like we mentioned, there may be times when you do want to work with an outside agency to do a higher level of production on your videos. Well, that will need feedback, that will need communication, edits, and all of that. You can communicate that directly in a short video. And just like your customers and just like your colleagues, your contractors and your vendors will also watch that, and they will consume that information. They're going to understand it better than if you just sent an email, and it's going to save you time, save you mistakes. We do this with our SEO team. We do this with, out the freelance writers we work with, and all sorts of, and different designers and other folks we work with all the time. So do a number of our clients. So it's really, really to be able to apply, right, the power of video, because we mentioned earlier, Christine mentioned earlier, it's a language today that we all are much more fluent in than we used to be, right? It used to be that video was a language you needed to go study for years and years and have a lot of experience. And by the way, also pay for expensive equipment to pull off, right? It's not the case anymore. It's now a common language. We have access to it on our phones. We walk around with a video production studio in our pocket every day. So this is really something that not only should we be applying it to our marketing, we can apply it to how we work, and we can get all of those benefits on our team, across our company, and with our clients as well. So that's the main idea of using video to market, and not only to market, but to work and communicate better. I do just want to mention, if I could see the next slide, please, that there are a few things you can do today to make this easier, to start putting video into action for your marketing team, and for your whole company. First, go to powtoon.com. You can sign up for free for an individual account. Download the Powtoon Capture Chrome extension so that you can also make video messages and that ephemeral content for social media we were talking about. Be sure that you check out Powtoon's video template gallery. We've got hundreds of professionally designed and optimized video templates. If you want to simply update the text and upload your logo, you could have a video in as quick as 4 or 5 minutes. If you want to completely customize every aspect of the video and you have the time to do that, no problem. Then you've got something completely unique. Or if you just want to take a look at those templates to be inspired and to learn a little bit about how these different components of the video are constructed, they're really, really helpful for that as well. And if you want more, we have premium accounts that allow you to use more features, have access to more soundtracks, videos, images for the background, all that sort of stuff, more character sets, more templates. And we have a discount just for you wonderful people for joining us today. Event 15, that will get you 15% off any Powtoon premium plan, the Pro Plus, or the agency plan. So please do check that out. But of course, it's free to sign up and it's free to play around and to see just how easy it can be to have video working for your marketing team.
Thanks, Nick. I think that's one thing I really want people to take away from your part of this talk, is just how it's not complicated to necessarily do video anymore, where I think a lot of people are still intimidated by it. Maybe you've got a small team, or you're, one-man band, or just a small business. You're like, I don't have the time or the ability to do video. But I mean, with any computer that has a web camera now, or your phone, it's not that hard to just do a quick product video and like unbox something or whatever. It's becomes so much easier.
Yeah, and I would also say, that video is easier and it's more effective, and it's also, we're sort of in a moment of experimentation, right? Whether that's like aping the styles that are showing up on TikTok and platforms like that, right? Or leveraging those kinds of trends, or doing something just kind of wacky and experimental. Especially if you don't have to spend $20,000 in 2 months with an outside agency to do it, you're free to experiment and to see quickly, what are people reacting to? What's making a difference? Can I one up that thing? So that's been something I've seen as well, that we're in a moment of experimentation. Boy, the other piece of that is what we've all experienced in the last year and a half with the coronavirus outbreak, right? All of a sudden, even late night TV shows, which usually have, multi-million dollar budgets and cameras and all that, those were happening on a webcam in somebody's house, right?
Yeah.
So the formality of production has relaxed in a way that everyone seems to be okay with. And I think that's a huge opportunity for, small businesses, medium-sized businesses, any company that isn't used to spending a huge amount of money and time on video. Guess what? You don't need to anymore. And you can really leverage your creativity, the creativity on your team, and try stuff out because people are open to it.
For sure. Awesome. And yeah, like you mentioned TikTok a little bit, we've got a couple questions. So we'll get into that discussion
Great.
here in just a minute, because I feel like that's dominating the video discussion right now, but we'll get there.
Very good.
Awesome. So with that, Nick's kind of talked to us all about the creation process, and hopefully you've got a lot of ideas out of that. But once you've actually created a video, you want to make sure that people see it, right? So we're going to send it over to Maya Teagle, our SEO manager here at Boostability, and she's going to talk about how to really get your videos found.
Awesome. Thanks, Christine. And hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us. Nick, thank you so much for walking us through that. That was really interesting. And I love that you highlighted that YouTube is the second most used search engine. You just don't even think about that, but naturally, like now you are watching your tutorials, your review videos, like package opening videos. It totally makes sense. So what I'm going to do today, we're going to cover 5 basic steps for video SEO to help give your videos some leverage on YouTube and to rank higher for various searches on there. So similar to your SEO strategy, your traditional SEO strategy, if you can go on to the next slide, we're going to first start off with keyword research, but this time we're going to do keyword research for YouTube specifically. Start off by doing a search in YouTube itself for the topic of your video. And there's the autocomplete feature, which is basically mimicking the suggested features that you see or the suggested searches you see in Google. But the autocomplete suggests popular keywords and searches, giving you a better idea as to what people want to watch and what they're actively searching for. This feature shows you broad keywords, target keywords, but it also shows you long tail keywords, which do tend to be less competitive and therefore increase your likelihood of ranking for those keywords faster. The second step in the keyword research process is to do a competitive research and identify which keywords your competitors are using on their channels, their video titles, and in their video descriptions. Those are good indicators of what you should include in your strategy as well. The third step is to cross-reference your organic keyword list that you're using for traditional SEO to rank on Google and other search engines. This is a good place to cross-reference because you want to diversify your keyword list, and you already see here what the search volume is associated with that term. But diversify your list to include your target keywords, which do tend to be a little bit more broad, higher search volume, higher competition. But supplement that also with your less competitive long tail keywords so you can get some quick wins and capture that low hanging fruit simultaneously. And the same rules still apply with video SEO as they do with traditional SEO, and that is to manually inspect the intent of each keyword to ensure that it's aligned with your content. Aim for keywords that actually show videos or YouTube links in the first SERP of Google or other search engines that you're using. And I added this one in here as well. It's optional, but the fourth step, you can also use tools. There's tools out there like vidIQ, keywordtool.io. They're designed to show you YouTube search terms and their associated search volume so you can further enhance your keyword strategy. And again, that's totally optional. The other 3 steps could get you there as well, but that's just something, if you do have the means to do so, great. And then in the corner, I just highlighted some studies have shown that how-to, review-based, and tutorial videos do rank best for video searches. So that's definitely something to keep in mind as you're creating videos and just enhancing your video marketing strategy. So as part of the second step of the YouTube SEO process, it's to publish high retention videos, which entails one, saying your keyword in the video, including a summary, getting straight to the point, using open loops, and understanding video length. So saying your keyword throughout your video is great for video SEO because YouTube will register it as it automatically transcribes your video. Similar to bots crawling a blog or a page on your website, YouTube does read that term as it's transcribing it, and it will associate that keyword with your video, thus helping you rank higher. The second point serves a similar purpose as an agenda or a table of contents that you see often with the traditional content marketing strategy. It gives people context and a preview as to what they will be learning, what will be discussed in this video right from the start, and it reassures them that they're in the right place. Backlinko did a study on their own videos and found that they reduced their drop-offs and increased their viewer retention just by including that short summary at the beginning of their video. So it's definitely a worthwhile tactic to incorporate into your video marketing strategy. And the third item is to just get straight to the point. Avoid fluff, long stories, any filler content in there. People want instant gratification. They want their information immediately, and taking too many roundabouts just increases your risks of drop-offs. So again, completely similar to your traditional content strategy, answer those questions quickly and sufficiently. The fourth point is using open loops, which are essentially previews into what will be discussed later in the video. This does sound like a summary, but essentially the difference is that you're not just focusing at the beginning of the page or the beginning of the video. Open loops are dropped throughout the video, letting people know, hey, stay tuned. This is what's going to be discussed later on, or in the next session, here's what we're going to discuss. It keeps people engaged and alert of what's to come, so they don't leave or drop off if their information is not addressed like at the beginning of the video. And lastly, the fifth point is understanding your video length. The focus here should be less about how long your video is and more about how valuable it is to viewers. Remember to answer all possible questions in the video and fully pertaining to the topic that you're discussing first and foremost. You don't want people finishing the video with unanswered questions that they'll end up seeking answers to elsewhere, and it could be your competitor. And similar to traditional SEO, longer content typically does give you more of a chance to cover a topic in depth, provides valuable information, but you shouldn't create videos, long videos to be exact, just for the sake of length. So aim to be concise, accurate, informative, and avoid being redundant. Your shorter videos still rank, people still find them valuable, but for longer videos, you'll just have to be more strategic with your open loops and other strategies to keep people engaged. So the third step of the video SEO process is now to optimize your video, starting with the video title. Use your target keyword as close to the beginning of the title as you can get, and aim again for natural language rather than keyword stuffing to avoid coming off as spammy. The example below shows the video ranking in traditional Google search for the keyword how to rank in YouTube, but we double check YouTube as well, and the format is just the same. The other thing to keep in mind when you're optimizing your video titles is to increase your click-through rates. So achieving a really high click-through rate is essential for YouTube SEO. That's a big ranking factor in there. So a priority of this should be to test out different formats and strategies to find out what works for you, what's generating the most clicks, what's generating the most traffic to your videos and your channel. Some studies have shown that you can get a third more clicks to your page and video just by using brackets and parentheses alone in the title. It's super simple, but you see this a lot with giving people context on, like, if you're going to be covering different steps or different strategies, give a number to that. Are they 8? Are they 12? In this instance here, they're doing 7 new strategies, but you also can do it with repurposed content, like giving people when was it repurposed? Is it 2021? Are these strategies still applicable to 2019? Something along those lines. Parentheses and brackets draw people's attention and their eyes to that title. It gives them that context that'll be discussed. So it's awesome. Definitely start using that in your video titles. It's a simple strategy, but it works. And then the next thing to do to optimize your video is the description. So similar to the title, incorporate your keywords in there. Make sure that your description is at least 250 words. and use keywords throughout it roughly 2 to 4 times. Use your judgment. You don't want to keyword stuff and risk coming off as like a spam tactic to that. Ideally, if you have 250 words or more, that gives you the ability to sufficiently use 2 to 4 keywords in there enough times without looking like you are stuffing the content essentially. But it's a balancing act. You don't want to just write a description and then risk becoming repetitive. So make sure to use your judgment along those lines. Focus on the user experience of it first and foremost. In this example, we're specifically highlighting Brian Dean from Backlinko. He does a great job of touching on those points, summarizing what the video will cover, the value you'll get from watching that video. But he also does call out people to subscribe to his channel and follow his social media platforms. So that's something that you should definitely include in there if you have the space to do so. And then the third tactic to optimizing your video on YouTube is to tag it appropriately. Tags help people and viewers find you on YouTube. So add them into new and existing videos. You can go back in if you've already published your videos, there's an option to go back in and add those tags. But if you're publishing new ones, just do so right from the get-go. You can create tags to target your target keyword and then also individual tags for your supporting keywords. Create tags also for related niche topics, long tail keywords that support your overarching video topic, what you're going to be discussing. It does just have to be your keywords, but make sure it's appropriate, make sure it's relevant, be very clear and intentional with your tagging strategy because it can quickly become convoluted and confusing if you're just adding a lot of them. And if it's confusing to users, it's absolutely confusing to YouTube. Therefore, there's not going to be any connection as to what you should be ranking for that topic. There are different tools out there. Some are free, some are subscription-based, some you have to pay for. But like TubeBuddy, Keywords Everywhere, vidIQ, these tools are designed to show you what tags are recommended to place in the video based on your topic. And it's based off of what people are searching for and find valuable. So by adding those, you become more relevant and visible on YouTube. And then the fourth step in the video SEO process is to embed and promote your videos. We already mentioned click-through rate back in the video title section of the slide deck, but again, really focusing and harping on that click-through rate is big time when it comes to ranking on YouTube specifically. Social shares, embedding and posting your videos on your own website, on your blogs, email marketing campaigns, different forums that are related to your topic or your industry, and so much more. Utilize what you have, spread the word about your videos, get people to click on them from other channels. That will bring in more clicks and more traffic and increase your click-through rate. And then lastly, I know somebody actually asked a question about this, about engagement. So the last thing you should do is focus on increasing your engagement signals, specifically your likes, comments, and subscribers. Increasing your engagement signals is strongly correlated with higher rankings on YouTube. And the best way, first to start off with likes and comments, the best way to get people to engage, to like your videos more, like your channels more, comment on those videos is to directly ask them. Same with like reviews, getting people to leave reviews on your Google My Business or on your products. You need to directly ask people to take that action and ask them specific questions. Avoid generic closing statements like, let me know what you think in the comment section, and go for something that's really specific, like, which of those tips are you going to try out in your strategy? Drop your answer below. I think it's like ask them multiple choice questions, get hyper specific. People do tend to engage with those a lot more, less than requiring them to think on what they thought about it. And then the same rule also applies with getting more people to subscribe to your channel. Ask them to do that, but also give them a reason to do so. You'll see a lot of people who get more of them are very clear about what value are people going to get by subscribing to your channel. What are you going to give them in return? What are they going to miss out on if they don't? Be very clear and intentional with how you're messaging that. And again, just ask. It's amazing. You need to give people a very strong call to action. So those are the 5 basic steps of video SEO. That is a total world in and of itself. It's similar, but it is also different than traditional SEO. But those 5 basic steps absolutely have to be part of it to give your video leverage, especially on YouTube, seeing as though that's the second largest search engine now. So remember those when you are either when you're starting a video marketing strategy or as you're continuing with it. Super simple 5 steps that you can just start implementing now.
Awesome. Thanks, Maya. And we've written a little bit about video SEO on our blog in the past. So if you guys want to learn a little bit more, or maybe you see a little bit more of what Maya was talking about, you can go check that out. We'll also post that later. So you just gave me that idea. I'm like, wait, we've talked about it. We'll do that. So thank you, Maya. That was excellent. I hope you all learned a lot about just kind of how to get people to find those videos. So now we're going to jump into Q&A. We've had quite a few come in during this convo. So, and there's still time. So if you've had a question come up, don't be afraid to drop it in Q&A or in the chat. I'm still monitoring that. So first, I'm going to pose this to Nick. I kind of teased this a minute ago. Like, I'm thinking Instagram Reels and TikTok in particular. Like, I feel like I hear the word TikTok probably 7 times a day right now. It's an easy way. I mean, you can see creativity flowing from everywhere around the world. People are creating these kinds of videos. Is it possible maybe for a business to jump on that? Or, you know, is that like, kind of talk to us just kind of about TikTok and that kind of a instant video that people are creating?
Sure. Yeah. Well, listen, you know, I think that originally, and when I say originally, I'm talking about 2 years ago, you know, not that long. TikTok as an entity as it exists today is not that old. But originally TikTok really kind of had this reputation. It's just a bunch of kids, right? But we saw especially over the course of the pandemic, a lot of kids getting their parents hooked on TikTok. You see the trend of short thought leadership videos that are going up on TikTok. I mean, companies that are talking about like all of the SEO tips that Maya shared. Each one of those could be a short TikTok video. So yes, the answer is yes. Brands are leveraging it. It's its own universe, right? Because you got to think about the user experience of TikTok and this kind of endless feed of videos. So your video needs to be eye-catching, delightful somehow in a way that matches the way that those kinds of videos are on TikTok, if that makes sense. I do think that it's maybe a place, TikTok is maybe a place where your company can be a little more creative and a little less serious or take some more risks. So that's also a benefit. The other thing I'll just say quickly about TikTok is it's incredibly driven by their algorithm, and because it's still newer and the platform itself is trying to get users engaged and get creators engaged in a way that perhaps maybe YouTube and Facebook and Instagram are around long enough and have a big enough user base that they can kind of back away from that. TikTok is still very much trying to get everybody hooked, right? And it's very immediate. And if you're a creator, they want to show you that you're getting views. So it's really easy to start getting momentum. You simply need to kind of commit to it and engage with others on the platform. And the TikTok algorithm for now does a lot of good in that way. I'm not sure it's the primary channel for this sort of thing. Right. You know, LinkedIn is we at Powtoon are very, very active on LinkedIn. And that's where our conversation about how we work and how we communicate is happening. Mm-hmm. So that's a place where we spend a lot of time, but we also have an entirely different voice on Instagram, which is more about visual inspiration and fun office type memes, right? And stuff like that. It's in the language of that platform. Or for instance, we find that our audiences love to debate this versus that kind of thing, like in the comments on Facebook. We get the controversy happens on Facebook, right? So we'll do things that are talking about like millennials versus Gen Z and that kind of stuff, and generate all of this discussion around it. So sometimes your video, it's not really only about them watching the video, it's also about that conversation that's inspired below as well. So
Yeah.
that I hope that that's a little gloss over a few different platforms, but I hope that's helpful.
Oh, I love it. And someone else asked about Instagram Reels, but it's kind of the same thing. I mean, it's very much a visual platform, same kind of algorithm. It's very specialized.
And remember also, like, right, so TikTok's been successful, and now the other platforms are trying to find a way to implement a bit of that success on their with their audiences as well. So that, you know, when you're seeing Reels, and I think also Reddit is doing a video feed that's very similar to the way that TikTok is, and they're trying it out. You know, it's that platform trying to leverage it. It's just another opportunity for your organization to try and leverage it as well. And the cool thing about video and about the content world, and I think Christine, you mentioned this, is just like so many ideas, so many different ways to repurpose stuff, so many, or maybe Maya mentioned it, you know, so many different ways to get this message out there. And I think I also saw on one of the questions there, sorry, I'm not the I wasn't reading it too closely,
No, you're
but
good.
there was a question about live, you know, especially on like
Yeah.
on YouTube and on LinkedIn and on Facebook, a live stream versus other shorter videos. Does one replace the other, or which one's more effective? And for this, I would just say you have a couple of things. First of all, when they're new, like LinkedIn, I believe has only been offering live. It was like in a beta last fall, and now it's available, but you need to like sign up for it. They're still in a place where if you put a live up on LinkedIn, because the feature is new and they want to get it, LinkedIn wants to get it in front of as many users as they can as possible. It's a great thing to leverage because the platform's going to work to get it in front of people. The same thing happened when Facebook Live began. We did a Facebook Live in the first, I don't know, month that Facebook Live was around, that got 11,000 views or something like that. I mean, like really just over the top for this very low level short webinar type, you know, we did barely anything to promote it. That was really an artifact of the platform wanting to push this sort of thing. But, you know, I think you see this the best on YouTube. For where creators have their sort of regular schedule of produced content that they're putting up, and they supplement that with lives, right? So maybe once a week, there's an hour-long live stream where they're really engaging with their audience, and the chat is a huge feature of that, right? And they can reply in real time, and also have this kind of less produced, more approachable, more authentic kind of moment with their users. That's great on YouTube, because all of those comments are feeding into the strength and engagement of that video, which sits among your other videos, right? So it sort of has a tide that lifts all boats kind of effect, if that makes sense, in terms of being on the platform. But I would also say, you know, lives, you might not necessarily be able to title or capture everything the way that you want to capture it for everything you might cover in a live, because you might not be able to predict what you're going to cover in that live. Whereas all of the strategies that Maya mentioned can be implemented 100% on a video that's sort of pre-produced, scripted, and then published, right? YouTube also has another feature called premieres, which allows you to take advantage of kind of both, best of both worlds, where you take a video that you would normally publish, but you set it as a premiere, promote that to your audience, and it goes live at a certain time. There's a live chat, you know, with your video as it's premiering. So you don't even need to worry about performing your live stream. You can let the video play and solely engage in the chat. And I see a lot of creators having a lot of success with that.
Great idea. Well, I hadn't even thought about, I mean, you see the premiere all the time. I hadn't thought about that. That's a great idea. Awesome. Here's another one, kind of just in your experience, of course, there's different kinds of videos, like a webinar like this is going to be an hour long or more. Is there an ideal video length to keep people engaged?
Well, it's a good question. So I think that it really depends. It depends on a few things. What platform are we talking about? Certainly, some platforms have limitations, right? You know, so you have a minute to have a video on TikTok, but you on YouTube, it's basically infinity. But no one's going to watch an infinity long video, right? So this is this sort of thing. There isn't a one right answer. It's really, again, I'm stealing all of Maya's thunder, but she mentioned open loops and things you can do in the video to keep people engaged. So if you're really focused on that and you've thought that through and you have a lot to cover, and it's not a long video just for long video's sake, but it's delivering value and people are engaged the whole time, then do a long video, because just like longer written content, right? There are all sorts of signals that are sent when that is successful. There's all sorts of signals sent to Google and to the other search engines, et cetera, about how valuable this content is. But if it's not valuable, it's not going to help you. And if people leave in the first 30 seconds and it's an hour-long video, that curve is really depressing, and not only depressing but harmful. It can be harmful to your domain authority and like your presence there. So I would say, I know it's not a great answer, but video should be as long as it calls for. Some guidelines though: 90 seconds, between a minute and 90 seconds is ideal for a short explainer video if you want to explain one key concept to someone. So that's kind of a like a breaking point, about the minute 90 seconds, somewhere in there. About 8 to 12 minutes, let's call it an average of 10, is a pretty good length for a YouTube how-to kind of thing. And I'm drawing from that both what people have written about what the YouTube algorithm is favoring right now, which is subject to change, but was one of the kind of a format that they're favoring. So you see other creators making videos that length. But again, you should do this in line with the research that you're doing, not only in the research of like what the keywords you want to use are, but also what your competitors are doing, what is out there. Maybe you want to do something similar to what they're doing. Maybe you see an opportunity that they're missing. So there isn't one size fits all, unfortunately, but 90 seconds, 10 minutes, live streams again, or in webinars about an hour, 45 to an hour, as long as they're good.
Yeah, for sure. Little caveat there. Keep them engaged, right? We are at the top of the hour, but I do want to ask one
already.
More. I know it's gone so fast.
Okay.
But I'm just going to combine a couple. It's just any good like starting points for maybe like a hyper local business or a business that's just kind of starting out with video and it's so overwhelming. You're like, where do I even begin this process? Do you have any ideas on that?
Yeah, I think a simple explainer video that explains, put it this way, identifies your audience, talks about their pain, their struggle, their challenge, why it's a frustration, right? Like what the solution is, and then what are the benefits associated with that solution. The benefits are the answers to the pain points, right? So there's that challenge, which is answered by the solution, the pain points that are answered by the benefits of that solution, and then a clear CTA, call to action, right? Just like you do in the video to get people to like and subscribe. Ask people, tell them what you want them to do. Do you want them to sign up? Are they getting a free trial? Or maybe they're just downloading the ebook or learning more or visiting a blog or something like that. But you want to be sure, no matter what, in that first video you're creating, as you're out there, you want to be sure to tell people what to do, so you have the best chance of seeing the results, the impact of that video. So that's where I would start: a simple explainer that identifies your audience, the challenges that they're having, the solution you provide and its benefits, and what they can do next. What should they do next to take advantage of it?
Awesome. Thanks, Nick. Great advice. We do have a whole bunch of other questions, but I will reach out to all of those who sent us in. Personally, I will make sure you get an answer. But one other I did want to ask, you mentioned just you can try Powtoon for free. How long is that free trial?
Sure. So the self-serve Powtoon platform is actually available for free to use forever for now, as far as I understand it. But there are some limitations. In the first 4 days that you've signed up, you get access to premium content inside the studio. We also have an enterprise product. So if you're working in a larger organization, if you're working with teams, and you want to be able, also if you have requirements for a higher level of data security, we offer like a single sign-on custom domain for your organization, and additional service level agreement access and all that sort of stuff. That is available basically for a demo, and then to work with a short trial then with that as well. So you can use it for free with limitations. You can upgrade. Again, we have that discount available to this audience. Use the code EVENT15 and you can get a discount on those premium plans. Or if you're interested in the enterprise product, visit powtoon.com/enterprise and request a demo.
Awesome. Thank you, Nick. And thank you, Maya. This has been a great session. I hope everyone's learned something and come away with some good ideas and good strategies that you can implement. And we hope to see some of your videos. Let us know if you try any of this. We'd love to hear back from you. You can email us at contact@Boostability or just let us know on social media. We'll definitely follow up. So thank you to everyone for tuning in and sticking with us. I know we went a little over, but it's such good stuff. I couldn't end it. But well, as I mentioned earlier, we'll get this talk posted on our website. That's boostability.com/search-sessions. That'll go up later this afternoon, and it'll also go on our YouTube channel, so you can watch it again if you miss some. And then we'll share this video out and the slide deck in a follow-up email, as well as the resources that Nick provided. And as always, if you need help with your SEO, Boostability, we're here for you. Reach out to us at boostability.com or give us a call, and be sure to check out some of our other webinars, our other search sessions. The website's there on your screen, and we'll post our next one that's coming up in September. We'll get the link posted shortly. So thanks again, everyone. And thank you to Nick and Maya, and have a great day.
Thanks, everybody.